has a ship. I bet it's a piece of... junk. I'm having that ship. I'm going to have that ship. Even if it kills me, No, you're not. I'm certainly doing the Castle one in 12 parsecs in it. Well, nobody flies this ship but me. It's my baby. We'll see. You might want to buckle up. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here, and welcome to my review of Solo, a Star Wars story. And unlike Rogue One, they actually put a Star Wars story in the title of the actual film, as opposed to Rogue One, where it just says Rogue One, and it's just said Rogue One, a Star Wars story elsewhere, but not in the film. It's a bit strange. But, oh well, it's a bit like Avengers Infinity War not being called Marvel's Avengers Infinity War, but some people might call it Marvel's Avengers Infinity War, just to go alike with the other two. So with this one, this is the second anthology Star Wars film, separate from the episodic ones, as we're in between episodes 8 and 9 at the moment. And this serves as a prequel for Han Solo, before he meets Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke Skywalker in the Cantina Bar on Tatooine in A New Hope. So, this film explores his origins as a young thief and smuggler, how he meets Chewbacca and Lando, and some adventures that they get up to. Also, he makes the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. Not sure exactly what parsecs are, but okay. Well, he did that. So, sorry about the noise. I've got a window open. Film is mostly Solo going back and forth. He's going on some missions. First, he's trying to escape a planet with his girlfriend, but when Kiara, I believe that's it. Kira. Maybe if that's how it's pronounced, it's Q-I-R-A. Yeah, they do that in Star Wars, they make strange names. So, his girlfriend gets left behind accidentally when they're trying to escape a crime world. By the way, the crime boss they're running from is a big giant worm. To be honest, it's not that much different from a big giant slug. Jabba the Hutt, who he will go and work for after the events of this movie. And she actually is quite scary and intimidating, to be honest. So, props for making Lady Proxima quite intimidating for the few minutes she's on screen. Then, so as I said, Kiara gets captured, so Solo, Han has to go and get a ship in order to, and then come back and rescue her. So he has to earn money to get the ship they wanted and then come and rescue her. So he joins the Imperial Army to train as a pilot. Eventually he joins a band of thieves and smugglers along with Chewbacca. He rescues Chewie. So he gets thrown into a pit with Chewie at one point, and then together they work out a way to escape and then join the criminal crew. And they go on a mission, which is actually a bit botched, leaving only the leader and Han and Chewie alive. The other members are sadly dead. Ouch. Sorry, there's someone not hammering, just making noises outside. So then they have to go to the guy they were going to steal it from in order to work out a way to get a plan B, basically, to avoid certain death, and Han runs into Kira again. She's working for this guy played by Paul Bettany, and he basically allows them to go off and do this job they realise they can do. So they go and do that, and Kira is sent to help them. And so they go to obtain a ship from Lando Calrissian. I'm not sure if I pronounced his name right. Sorry if I didn't. Played by Donald Glover. And he helps them out, along with his droid. What was she called? L337. And so they go to Kessel to attain this source of energy. Sadly, L337 is killed in an uprising as a means of distracting the miners. She was a likeable character. It's a shame. Oh well. Fun fact, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, was it? Yeah. Did stop motion for this character. The voice is definitely very humanoid. It's probably the most humanoid to a droid. Although Alan Turdike's one for KS-20 was also very good. And Anthony Daniels, of course, as C-3PO. Anthony Daniels gets a cameo in this one as well. Voice cameo. Not as C-3PO, but he gets a voice cameo. But you do see some droids looking very similar to R2-D2. They're not, of course, none of them are R2-D2, but you know what I mean. There's some in the prequel films that look similar to him as well. So it's basically a production line. And then, of course, the crew have to do the castle run in order to escape and keep the stuff. I'm just calling it stuff. It's not drugs. The energy source, whatever. Keeping it safe, not explosive, and they have to avoid a giant tentacle monster and a black hole. They eventually escape, and also they have to escape the Imperial Army because they've found out about a little resistance happening on Castle, so they've had to avoid them and go to a mining facility to not find mining. That was the mining one, a draining one, not a draining. I'm just going to look at the plot quickly. Processing plant, and it's there they come up that the rival band comes along to not challenge them, to take the stuff, and it's revealed they're not pirates but rebels. Lando runs off during this bit though. They then hatch a plan to stop the villain, the big villain. What was his name? Paul Bettany's character, but Beckett, the leader of the crew, bails basically. Voss. We'll call him Voss. So they have to, and he also Beckett then betrays Solo, Chewie, and Kira, but they anticipated that, and so actually betray them. Eventually, Beckett escapes with the stuff, and Voss is killed by Solo. Then Kira takes Voss's place, while Solo goes after Beckett and eventually kills him too, and gives the stuff back to the Cloud Gang people. They're not the rebels, not the group of rebels that were chasing them. They were not actually part of the rebellion, but they might join it. Solo and Chewie then head off to join Jabba the Hutt, although they never mention his name's Jabba. Also, fun, fan-pleasing moment, Darth Maul returns in a kind of a projection that Kira contacts him. As fans of Star Wars will aware, in the TV series is The Clone Wars, I don't know how, but he escaped his demise from Phantom Menace. He comes back to life, and now he's alive again in that show and in Rebels, so him appearing here makes sense if in continuity wise, although people who haven't seen or don't know the shows or don't know about that then, but they have seen Phantom Menace, they are going to be a bit confused as he was killed off then, but the spin-off, the show's brought him back to life and makes a nice little appearance here. And also, Warwick Davis makes a cameo in this movie. He even gets a line. Apparently his character's the same one from Phantom Menace. And obviously he was brought back for that one after appearing in Return of the Jedi. And yeah, Warwick Davis does a lot for Star Wars. But it's great to see him back. So, this one. So with Solo, it's good. It's not brilliant. It's fun. Very fun and entertaining. You have a lot of good time. And I have to say, John Powell does a really great music score and incorporates a lot more John Williams music. That was... they didn't really do that much with Rogue One. Some people weren't so... Well, I know Miss Troby mentioned that they didn't really do that much. So, well, I hope he's a bit happy with that in this one. But certainly, there is a lot more Star Wars music. Music taken from the John Williams scores from the other films. Putting this one, especially the main Star Wars theme, as well as more fight of the Duel of Fates from Phantom Menace, and also Han's theme. So they were incorporated really well into this film, and also the Imperial March, of course, played like the music in the background of an advert. That is really good. That is very good. Nice way of tying that in. The visual effects also look very good, and the cast do a very good job, especially Aldrin Aronich. I don't know if I'm saying that right. As Han, and Donald Glover as Lando. And Woody Harrelson as Beckett. He does a really good job. Sadly, Voss is probably Star Wars' weakest villain, or one of them, at least. I mean, there wasn't really much from, what's his name? Count Dooku. Count Dooku wasn't that great, but Christopher Lee did a really good job in the role, and General Grievous wasn't that brilliant, but he was a formidable foe for the fight scenes with Obi-Wan. And while Snoke we don't find out that much about Snoke, he is a pretty intimidating and interesting character, as is Phasma, despite being killed off a bit too early. But with Voss, he's not really that interesting. Despite a good performance by Paul Bettany, he's just not that interesting. Apparently he was going to be a half human, half lion creature, but when the original actor did not return for the reshoots, they had to get Bettany in, and he's just kind of a humanoid, at least. He's got a scar on one side, but that's it. You're not Blofeld, mate. And he's not 100% intimidating. He's got his intimidating moments, and he's not afraid to kill people, but it's not that great. He's definitely, at this point, Star Wars' weakest villain of the official films, of the episodic and anthology films. And also, Lady Proxima, despite being intimidating and nice design, despite not practically being very good. I mean, a worm organising a criminal underworld from a sewer raises questions about how. So, practical-wise, it's not so great, but the look of her is... But the character is intimidating, and CG looks pretty good. But she's only on screen for a little bit. In fairness, didn't really want too much of her, but as a villainess, there could have been a little bit more of her a bit later on. Maybe some of her crew are hunting them down. Afterwards, they've got Kira, but then she joins Voss, but maybe now they want Solo. I don't know. And sadly, L3V3 doesn't get much screen time either. Well, she gets a bit, but I would have liked to have seen a bit more of her, to be honest. She was a bit of a fun character, to be honest. It has to be a fun draw in these films. And she does bring up some points about equal rights for droids in these films, but It also looks like some political awareness thing for equal rights. A lot of people are saying there's a lot more politics in these films and political correctness. I would say for this one, it would be the equal rights as the most point out one. Although it didn't really occur whilst watching the film, I wasn't really aware that Lando was I think it was pansexual. I heard he was in this film, but it didn't jump out to me like this one. I thought Lee Few from the Beauty and the Beast remake from last year, I thought him being gay was a bit more obvious on screen than Lando being pan or whichever in this film. And Lee Few didn't even have that. I didn't think it was even that obvious on screen that Lee Few was gay. He had a few moments, but until the end, when he's dancing with a man, it's not really that obvious, apart from when he's hanging around with Gaston a few times. In this one, I didn't really find Lando that pansexual, so it really brushes past you these things. So I don't know why people are getting so upset about it. There's a lot of people getting upset about it, in some cases boycotting the movie. I've heard some cases saying that they go and watch Deadpool 2 instead, which, Deadpool is, I would say Deadpool 2 is a better film and it's more enjoyable. But for the people who are saying they're avoiding Solo because there's a pansexual character and they don't like that type of thing, well, apparently Deadpool says he's kind of pansexual at one point. I don't remember that, but I guess so. And also there's a lesbian couple in that film, so those people are a bit dumb, to be honest. They probably come out of Deadpool 2 saying, oh, that was terrible because there was a lesbian couple and all that, which is stupid, and you should never do that. Don't do that, idiots. I bet these are the same people who didn't like the women being having a lot of stuff to do in Last Jedi. I bet it's same type of people. Or exactly the same people. Going back to this movie, there isn't really that much to talk about. I just pretty much talked about most of it. It looks good, it's very interesting. Story-wise, it's pretty good, but it isn't the most necessary story, at least. With Rogue One, there was a lot of interesting stuff, whilst it was interesting to see some of the stuff, we pretty much knew about it already. But it was still an adventurous film, and got some very good, nice stuff. And like I said, it's nice to hear some of John Williams' music in the score. And John Powell did a very good score himself, so it's nice to see that they've got some of the composers coming in to do these music tracks. They can do as good a job as John Williams, or nearly as good as Michael Giacchino and John Powell have proven with their scores for Rogue One and Solo, respectively. Overall, it's not a perfect film, but it's fun, it's enjoyable, people will probably like it. Although, that's general. That's just speaking generally, the same for Deadpool 2, because there have been some 50-50s, more or less. There's more positives than negatives, but there's some people who weren't so keen on them. And Solo needs to pick up its box office. Guys, come on, it's not terrible. You can like it, so go watch it. Oh well, never doesn't matter too much. Well, kind of does, but in the quality of the film, it's pretty good. Anyway, so that's it from... Shut up! Stupid birds. So that's it from Solo, A Star Wars Story. But before we end my score, I'm going to give this film a 8 out of 10. yeah, it's the first Star Wars film since Disney took over that doesn't get a 10 out of 10. And it's also, well, I think this one is better than the prequel trilogy, but at the same time I did say that I preferred all but the first two prequels to Empire. I don't really enjoy Empire as much as everybody else. I actually find that too overrated, so I put that as my third least favourite of the live-action ones, at least. We're ignoring the Holiday Special, we're ignoring the Ewoks films, and we're ignoring the Clone Wars film. It's just the 8 episodic ones and the 2 anthologies at this point. So that would be... So it's... My ranking was Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith, New Hope, Force Awakens, Rogue One, Last Jedi, and Return of the Jedi. I would put Solo above Revenge of the Sith, but below A New Hope, so it's 6th. I would say 6th, or I think 6th. Yeah, 6th. 10th so I'm not going to renew the ranking just yet, maybe at the end of the year. Otherwise you'll wait till episode 9's come out and we'll have a 11 film ranking, maybe I've seen the other ones by that point, so maybe we'll have 15. I don't know, probably not though. But to quickly do it here, I would say 10 Phantom Menace, 9 Attack of the Clones, 8 Empire Strikes Back, 7 Revenge of the Sith, 6 Solo: A Star Wars Story, 5 A New Hope, 4 Force Awakens, 3 Rogue One, 2 Last Jedi, which I rewatched not too long ago, by the way, and 1 Return of the Jedi. I will always love Return of the Jedi. Episode 9 is a lot to do in order to... if Episode 9 is like Return of the Jedi, but better, then it could potentially top it. Well, Last Jedi and Force Awakens are as high as they are because they tried to do something new and achieved it more or less. Then again, Force Awakens was very New Hopey in some parts. And I liked Rogue One despite the characters not being that well fleshed out. But, yeah, well, I like all of them, but there are some I like more than others, and like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Empire. I think it's a bit overrated, with Revenge being very underrated, although I can see some problems some people have. And then we have this one, which is fun, but I think it's not 100% brilliant. So, yeah, at least with Rogue One we had a great story despite some character problems, but still. So that's it from Solo: A Star Wars Story. I'm not sure what's next, but I'm hoping to see Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom at some point soon, and I'm also hoping for Ocean's 8. To see Ocean's 8 when that comes out. Incredibles 2, looking forward to. Hope to see the Mission Impossible films before watching number 6. Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'll also give the Ocean's trilogy a rewatch before seeing number 8. There's a film called A Simple Favour that I'm looking forward to. The Predator. Hopefully the third one will be shown first. So that, again, along with Mission Impossible 3. I've got 1, 2, 4 and 5 on record, but I hope 3 gets shown so I can watch all 5 before the 6th one, and same with Predator 3 before the 4th one. I've now seen Aliens vs Predator and Aliens vs Predator Requiem. I've got them on Steelbook Blu-ray, so I can do reviews of those. Spoiler, as I meant, I think, like I said in the Deadpool review, spoiler alert, I prefer the second one, despite most people thinking that's probably the worst of all 11 films. Are all 11 Alien and Predator and AVP films. Out of all 11 up to 12 with the Predator coming, out of all 11 at the moment, most people are probably saying Requiem's the worst. I find the first AVP the worst, to be honest. So Requiem's a bit higher up for me. So that one's going to be a bit more positive. That's not to say it's perfect, but I just find it better than the other one. So anyway, also looking forward to Aquaman in December, and my my two most anticipated movies for the remainder of 2018 are Johnny English Strikes Again. No, it's not a popular choice, and Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. I forgot about that one for a bit, but it's looking interesting, and hopefully it'll be better than the last one. I did like the first Fantastic Beasts ones, but along with the other, I would say it's one of the weaker Harry Potter Wizarding World films. So hopefully the second one will be a bit stronger. So, I mean, to be honest, Fantastic Beasts was around a similar level to Order of the Phoenix: Chamber of Secrets, in my opinion. Not terrible, but just the weakest of the entire series, whilst Fantastic Beasts, I hope, is a bit more Goblet of Fire, Philosopher's Stone standards for me. If you go back and watch I think I did a mini ranking on that. I'll do a ranking after the second one. But basically, if you go back and watch that ranking, you'll know what I mean when I say I'm hoping Fantastic Beasts 2 is around so-and-so level, as opposed to the first one being at other so-and-so level. But neither of them are expected to hit Deathly Hallows Part 2 level, or Prisoner of Azkaban level. But we'll never know. We don't know yet. So, yeah. I'll put that as my second most anticipated one after Strikes Again. Despite that one won't be a popular one from most anticipated of the remainder of 2018. I think Incredibles 2 and Fantastic Beasts are going to be the two most popular, two most anticipated of the remainder of the year for most people. And also 2019, Bond 25 is back as the most anticipated movie of 2019. As it looks like it is going to be coming out in 2019. So Bond 25 is back as my most anticipated movie of 2019. So okay, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Nicholas Payne YouTube channel. Kiara and Kiara, and they acquire a ship from Lando Calrissian, played brilliantly by Danny Glover here. Not Danny Glover, Donald Glover. Danny Glover's Lethal Weapon and Predator 2. And so they go to meet L337. Sorry. Also, fun little. I thought LeFou in the Beauty and the Beast remake was a bit more gay. I think he was supposed to be gay in the remake. LeFou. But going back to the movie, excuse me. But to wrap it up here, I would say 10 is Phantom Menace, 9 Attack of the Clones, 8 Revenge of the Sith, 8 Attack Empire. Fuck me. So Bond 25 is back as my most Sorry, 20. Yeah, Bond 20. I'm certainly doing the Castle Pass set. I'm certainly doing the. No, you're not. I don't really like. Shut up! Start again.